Hi, I'm Tegan Podliska. You caught me on Tie Tuesday. This is EDL853 Special Education for Building Administrators, Module 1. Personal demographics. I live in a community, Red Oak, Iowa, about 5,500 people. It's my 8th year in the school district. I spent my first 7 teaching between the middle school and the high school level, and this is my first year as the school administrative manager at Red Oak Middle School. I'm the head wrestling coach, do a lot of off-season coaching, Southwest Iowa Freco team, so freestyle and Greco wrestling. I also coach at Fargo, help coach Team Iowa at the Greco-Roman National Championships. Interesting things about the school district, this is kind of a transition year for us. They're currently building a new school, so this is the last year we will operate our middle school and high school in separate locations. Next year we'll go 7 to 12 at our secondary facility. So that will probably change a little bit what I do next year. As far as critical reflection goes, dealing with school facilities and dealing with special education, different levels of intervention we have here at the middle school. We have one-to-one situations based on behavior needs, academic needs, things like that, where some students have a one-to-one person going around with them. We also have several paraeducators who deal with different students who have different IEPs and needs. SDI, so specially designed instruction in both math and reading. We have that a few times throughout the day from some of our special education teachers. We also have a learning center available every period throughout the day. So if a kid needs to go take a test for accommodations or things like that, then they could go to the learning center. We also have different intervention periods for math and science. So different periods throughout the day. It would be a small group setting, and you would work with a math or science teacher to meet some needs. You also have seminar time at the end of the day, and some students will have some different interventions during that time. We do that both at the middle school and the high school level. As far as technology goes, for those with hearing and communication barriers, we have different technologies available, all based on goals and can change from year to year. I know personally, as kind of an admin position for the first time, I sit in on a lot of IEPs and look at the different goals and the different levels of intervention provided, the amount of minutes per day or week that we require in different subject areas based on different assessments and the advancing students. Also, you have different needs technologically for different degrees of hearing, vision, communication barriers. As far as personal critique, I'm becoming more involved in that process. LEA, so sit in on a lot of IEPs. You also have continuous improvement. That's a big focus for me as far as a personal critique. I'm new to administration, so learning what's out there, learning how we can implement different things in our school district, and how we can better utilize those things to meet the needs of our students. In regards to the classroom, like I said, I spent the last 7 years there. So dealing with learning objectives at the test. So, you meet certain objectives on the test. Maybe you didn't meet them throughout the course on different assessments, but you can show what you've learned at the end of the test, and you can make up some points and different things like that. So that's kind of an accommodation to help different kinds of students. You also have assignment menus, so utilizing different skills. Maybe a certain student's really good at one thing but not at another, so they would have more options on different assignments so that they could do something that better suits them and their personality. Recording lectures, I did a little bit of that, primarily dealing with having subs and things like that, but it's a very valuable thing dealing with some of those technological needs and some of those physical needs of different students. School improvement plan, possibly introducing standards and skill-based grading practices. I know I did a lot of that in my classroom, and I always felt like it was underutilized. People are intimidated by it because it takes more time in the setup. It's a lot more beneficial after you've been through it a little bit. So just getting them to buy in and spend the time beforehand to get the things done. Differentiated assignments and assessments. So just getting teachers to provide more options for students to demonstrate content knowledge and things like that. Examining data of different subgroups in order to analyze effective practices, so not just generalizing and saying, we're going to look at data We're going to look at data for all of our special education students, all of our students with learning disabilities, things like that, looking at different subgroups within those and how different practices may have influenced them. You also have tiers for intervention, that specially designed instruction, the seminar time, the one-to-one time. I know we're kind of shifting some different things with our schedules next year. One would become a secondary building, so those are going to be crucial in our continued improvement. Also encouraging co-teaching. Like I said, lots of new things are happening next year, so encouraging co-teaching and the different scheduling options. As far as funding goes, you look at tiers of intervention and co-teaching. They have a cost associated with them. Obviously, if you're in a specially designed instruction time or an intervention time throughout the day, you can't be doing something else. If you have an SDI time for reading, then you're not teaching a reading class during that period. But you still have to have certain amounts of reading classes available throughout the day and things like that. So funding is definitely an issue. And as a small school district that has been losing students consistently for the last 10 or 15 years, funding is a major issue. We deal with a lot of budget cuts and things like that. The new school is exciting for us because it's bringing some students to the area instead of detracting, taking them away. So we're excited moving forward that we could possibly have some increased funding to deal with some of these interventions and co-teaching possibilities and things like that. Thanks. Have a great day.